Calculator, what's up?
Greetings and salutations, Mr. 411. Love the intro music once again, getting me pumped up for another weekend of crossing the lines. Oh, and Mr. 411, we had a rough week 2 weeks ago. Bounced back, had some winners last week. Hey, we don't care. I mean, we of course everybody wants to win all their picks, but it's mathematically impossible to win all your picks. So all we care is turning a profit. But hey, I gotta brag, another jackpot win, another algorithm win on the week. So hey, we just want to keep it rolling. Did some more research, so I'm pumped up to go over the games this weekend, Mister 411.
Okay, well, we better get down to business here. Crossing the lines.
And we are back. And Mr. 411, some people might be asking on this intro. They saw primetime Coach Sanders. They saw
Yeah,
Rubik's Cubes. What's that all about, Mr. 411?
man, let me tell you something, calculator. You know, it's one of the hardest things to figure out right now. It's the Colorado Buffaloes and their weekly, results, whether they're going to win or lose, whether they're going to cover or not cover. And for those who don't know, this thing right here is called a Rubik's Cube, and it's difficult to solve. You remember this back in the day, calculator, right?
I remember, and again, when I research Colorado, I research pretty much every NCAA team when I go to crossing the line. And when I get up to the Colorado, when I'm 30, 40 minutes deep, I just throw my hands up in the air. There's no rhyme or reason. There's no pattern. It is like we were back in middle school, back in my middle school days. I took the Rubik's Cube. You know what I did with the Rubik's Cube? Just for one, I got so frustrated, I just started peeling off the things and started putting them back together and start from
Yeah.
scratch. You know what I'm saying? That's the only
Okay.
way I can figure that thing out.
See, I thought I was the only one that did that.
No, man, it was me. Hey, I'm not gonna lie. I got it from a friend that said that's what they did. It's like, okay, is it really that easy? Sure enough. So,
Well, calculator, did this gentleman do that though? Let's see.
Mr. 401, I would love a standing ovation if I could figure out the Colorado Buffaloes.
Right.
And
I
I
think that.
guarantee you ain't gonna figure it out in a little over 3 seconds. That's just amazing. Some people can do
Yeah,
it, but yours truly, and when yours truly can't figure it out, my process is to move on because there's other games we can do.
exactly. So let's do that. What's the first game on tap for today, calculator?
Friday Night Lights. I want to pay tribute to the Friday Night Lights. 2-0 yesterday on our Friday nights last week. And hey, unfortunately, not a great slate of games. But hey, if the people want it, CTL is going to dig in and give them the action. But hey, you're going to need action for this Friday Night Lights because you got to have the action in order to watch a Nebraska Illinois matchup. That's right, folks. Two,
Yikes.
yeah, two bad teams. So, hey, I'm just going to take the team I believe is a little bit better, not as bad as the other team if they're going to get points. You know what I'm saying? Both bad teams. So, hey, I'm going to get the one with the points. Up to this point, Nebraska, they have played teams that when Nebraska's made mistakes, whether it be a turnover like against Michigan or whether just playing ineptitude on offense like against Colorado, that team has made them pay. I don't think Illinois is a type of team that could, turn in a mistake to take advantage of a mistake that Nebraska could make. Illinois is really showing the effects of losing multiple players to the NFL last year and not utilizing the transfer portal as good as some other teams. And I think for once, Nebraska has the better team on both sides of the ball. And I think that will allow them to play mistake free in this game. And I think it'll be one of those grind out wins. But if it's going to be a grind out, I think they're going to win outrun. So the money line is in play. But I've always talked, if we're going to get the 3.5, don't worry about the money line. Take the 3.5, and get a little comfort in case it was one of those late field goals that happens to beat you. Like if it's one of those things, and then Illinois makes some miraculous late play to get in field goal range, you're still up by that 3.5. So take the 3.5. I love them. We talk about magic numbers, and if you look at all these lines, a lot of them are around that magic number, and that's what we tried to build upon. So, but yeah, if you want to watch a Friday night, if you just want to sit down, relax, make yourself a little more comfortable in watching a game, get a little friendly wager going, take Nebraska tonight, or I'm sorry, tomorrow night at 3.5. So I like the Cornhuskers plus 3.5 this Friday night.
All right, that's one of the few times that people will say that in one sentence. I like the Cornhuskers. You know what I mean?
Yes. So, yeah, you hadn't heard that very often, that's for sure.
All right. Well, that's Friday Night Lights. And look, like you said, Calculator, we've been on the roll with the Friday Night Lights. Mm-hmm. So what you got coming up next?
Hey, and I try to give people games for every time slot. So when I was looking at these 12 o'clock games, I was thinking, oh my gosh, but hey, if you haven't heard, Mr. 401, the Texas State Fair has started. And to the average person that doesn't live in Texas, you know what that means? That means the Red River Rivalry, baby. And now you might be saying, Calculator. I hear Calculator talking Texas, Oklahoma, but if you flash on the thing, it's Western Michigan, Mississippi State on the screen. Oh, that's incorrect, Mr. 401. We're going into the 12 o'clock game. So that's right. We're going to look at Western Michigan, Mississippi State, because I hear that to make money, you don't want to mess with Texas, Oklahoma, because they've been grinding the numbers. The books got it at a perfect number. Any multitude things that can happen either way. So I'm not going to take a 50-50 chance. I'm going to go to one thing where I think we have somewhat of a little advantage. You know what I'm saying? So, right. Yours truly don't like over-unders, but this one kind of caught my eye at 56.5. It's like Western Michigan has given up an average of 45 points to Power 5 schools. And while Mississippi State doesn't seem to be an offensive juggernaut, they have scored 30-plus points against inferior competition like Arizona and South Carolina earlier this year. And both teams boast a defense better than – and both those teams that I just talked about, Arizona, South Carolina, have a better defense than what Western Michigan is going to put out on the field. So while I see Mississippi State scoring, they got to be able to put up at least 45 points in this one. So I think Western Michigan can go in there, possibly get another late touchdown in the game, get at least put 17 boards against what is that a porous Mississippi State defense, because Mississippi State has given up an average of 35.5 points in their last 4 games. Combine those two, 56.5 is easily obtainable. But act now, folks. We talk about like, subscribe, notify. Got to do that notification button, because this thing opened up at 53. It's gaining steam, already up to 56.5 as of this broadcast. Act now. Take the over before it goes any higher, folks, because this thing could go all the way up to 60 if you wait till tomorrow.
Wow. Man, don't wait. Take advantage of the opportunity right now. Jump on it now. Because as you said, man, going up from 53, 56, that's already eye-catching enough.
Exactly.
Go ahead, jump on it now. Jump on it. All right, Calculator, what's next on tap?
Now, we did a little preview before. That's right. 3:30, Alabama, Texas A&M, CBS Game of the Week. Hey, did you hear it, Mr. 411? I hear it. Everyone is saying A&M is back. Alabama is down. The 12th man will be rocking this Saturday, and the Calculator saying drowned out the noise, folks. A&M just got done beating a team that can't pass in Auburn, and an Arkansas team that was down 2 of its top playmakers, and now they get a pretty perturbed Bama team, and and Bama's only giving up 2. You're hardly ever going to see Bama giving up less than a field goal. All right. So, hey, now that Bama has settled the quarterback mess, I think they're going to start making their move. Milroe did his best Hurts impersonation last week, going 10 of 12, 184 yards, 69 yards on the ground, and 2 rushing touchdowns. I don't think Saban is watching that hurricane. I think he's watching that hurricane tape and will use his elite athletes to expose that fraudulent A&M defense. And I would be remiss to say that after the Texas game, Bama's defense has gone back to square one and looks to be back to their dominant ways. Bama had just allowed 2 weeks ago 10 points to a Ole Miss Rebels team that just last week ago put up 700 yards and 55 points against LSU. So, okay, Mr. Foreman, sometimes I like to go over a checklist, all right? So,
yes, sir.
Bama with the better O-line, check. Bama with the better D-line, check. Bama with a better quarterback. Check. Bama with a better coach. Check. That's right. And you got the line under that magic number 3. That's checkmate, folks. Yes, easy for me to call if I'm getting under that. If I'm giving up less than a touchdown or less than a field goal, because I think the Tide will continue that SEC dominance, and I think Saban will make Fisher go back to the drawing board after this one. So yeah, roll Tide this week. Bama covers the 2.
Calculator. You know what time it is.
Hey, I know people have been waiting for it, Mr. 411. What time is this one coming up?
Man, do you have something going on in your kitchen?
I always like to cook popcorn right before the CTL broadcast, and sometimes it don't pop at the right temperature.
And you know what that means?
Yes, sir, Mr. 411. When the rock is back, the goosebumps are back for the calculator, because I love that thing. Because, yes, smelly line time. Hey, we're looking at the Purdue Boilermakers at the Iowa Hawkeyes at -2.5. But guess who's favored? It's the Iowa Hawkeyes are favored 2.5. Hey, I say, this got to be an overreaction last week, because I'm going to give you a quick summary. Iowa was playing at home and was a 3-touchdown favorite against Michigan State. And once they lost their transfer quarterback, McNamara, in the first quarter, they just went on to win by 10 points. Purdue, on the other hand, went on to take a very poor Illinois team to the woodshed and beat them 44-19. Seeing as this game is in Ames, and you look at the full body of work of both teams, I think Iowa should be favored by a full touchdown, right? Well, you said calculator. There's a key word here, right? You just said their quarterback got hurt. So I was running a backup quarterback out there, and they're still favored to win this game? How are they going to win with a backup quarterback? Well, you know what? That's when Smelly Line caught my attention, and I got to go even further digging. And that's why I said, hey, Vegas giving all that information out there, trying to think that Iowa has no chance winning the game. So they think everybody's going to load up on Purdue. Hey, and Mr. Foreman, you know what's crazy? Line hasn't moved since it's open. But hey, folks, to be honest, McNamara hasn't been all that great this year. On the year, McNamara has completed just 51.1% of his passes, 505 yards, averaging 5.6 yards per pass for just 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions. Folks, that's his year-to-date stats. That's not a single game stat, folks. That's year-to-date. Hey, that's not good for a Power 5 team. But hey, Iowa wins games based on winning the field position battle, with a good defense, outstanding special teams play, and a quarterback that plays it safe, and which is what this new backup quarterback will do for the Hawkeyes. And Purdue has shown what they can do up against a similar team in Wisconsin, where they got beat 38-17 at home in Purdue. But this is in Ames, folks. So, hey, I can get this line below that key number 3. Again, 2.5 hadn't budged. So, hey, if I'm only giving up 2.5 and I can get the team with the better special teams, better defense, at home, less than a field goal, Smelly line be dang. I'm going to take the Iowa Hawkeyes to cover that 2.5. So this has a feeling of a 17-10 type ugly game.
Yeah.
But hey, that's the way Iowa loves to play, and that's how Iowa wins most of their games.
Yeah, that's Big Ten. That's Big Ten style right there.
Mm-hmm.
All
Absolutely.
right. All right. So take the Hawkeyes. All right, calculator. It's time for one of my favorite segments. One of my favorite segments
Oh, yeah.
of all time, calculator.
Big win. Epic win.
Yes, sir, folks. Jackpot time. And hey, I'm gonna shout out. I had the script ready. I had the research done. I was printing things out for the producer, and all of a sudden, I get a text from Bo. And Bo said he really likes that Michigan game. And guess what? Calculator likes that Michigan game too. And not that I like the game, love the line, folks. 7:30 at night. It's going to be ABC. Even though Michigan is unbeaten, I don't know if it's ABC because I'm fighting Irish. I don't know. It's going to be it's going to be one of those networks where Michigan is playing the Minnesota Gophers. So check your local listings, folks. Even though Michigan is unbeaten on the year, last week was their first one this year that they won against the spread. As the Wolverines looked complacent during their early matchups while Harbaugh was on vacation, he apparently didn't like what he saw with his first game back. I think he fired up the troops, and they put the beat down on Nebraska last week. Hey, if you look at like opponents, Minnesota should have had an outright loss to that same Nebraska team in week 0. And to be honest with you, it appears that Minnesota team has gotten worse as the year has gone on. And I think a lot of it's injuries. They're missing their all-star running back, lately. And he might be good, might be not. But hey, it don't matter because the Gophers will try. They just don't have people to match up, and it could be hard to keep a slow pace. They're going to try and muck it up, but it's going to be hard to do indoors on that fast turf, especially with the athletes that Michigan's going to put on the field.
Right.
So anything under 3 touchdowns, easy pick, folks. Easy pick. And that's why, and again, got to get it early because this could easily climb to the 3 touchdown mark. So we try to keep it as low as possible, right? So, and to tell you the truth, I like this so much. I like Michigan getting to the number actually by halftime, folks. And you want to look at, some trends. Michigan 8-2 against the spread against Minnesota in their last 10 matchups, 5-1 against the spread in the last 6 games as a road favorite. Minnesota has allowed 85 yards per game against one of the weaker schedules in this year, and now they got to go up against one of the top 5 O-lines in the country, 2 running backs that will be playing on Sundays. This could get ugly, and it could get ugly quick. Oh, and one more thing that made it put it over the top. There's a term that a lot of the wise guys like to use. It's called stuff rate. It's one of those underlying metrics a lot of people don't know about. Stuff rate is basically how people get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. Well, guess what? The Michigan defense, top 3 in stuff rate. That means what Minnesota wants to do, they're going to run the ball. They're not going to be able to run because they're going to get stuffed at the line of scrimmage. On the other hand, Minnesota's defensive line stuff rate, 105. What does that mean? That means when Michigan wants to run the ball, they're going to be able to run the ball. So even if this gets out of hand, they're going to keep running the ball and they're going to keep getting yards. So I think Harbaugh is going to he might have the backups in there and they're still going to be able to score. So 19 doesn't scare me. And if you look at previous lines, Michigan was a 24-point favorite over Rutgers. So this could be kind of like smelly line work too. But it's like I'm missing this, but I'm not going to worry about smelly line on this one. I'm not going to go against the smell because in my opinion, Rutgers would beat Minnesota on a neutral field. And this is only 19. Yeah, Minnesota's at home. I don't care. I think that's going to play Michigan's favor, especially like again, they're going to just have the advantage at every single position. So yeah, this could get ugly with folks. So, but hey, take the Wolverines, swallow the 19. Yours truly don't like big spreads every now and then, but I can't pass this one up, Mr. 4-1, because I just don't see how they don't get 21. The only one, especially with Harbaugh, because they're talking about strength of schedule already. Harbaugh's hearing the things that he's going to have to start making impressions on the thing, especially if he drops one of those Ohio States or Penn State's games. You're going to have to rack up a lot of quality, eye-popping victories to help you if you do happen to have a loss during the year.
Oh yeah, you took the words right out of my mouth there, calculator. That Michigan's going to have something to prove. You know what I'm saying? They gotta have impressive victories. Last weekend, man, the way they run that ball, I don't see how. I mean, this is jackpot calculator. It is jackpot. Got jackpot written all over.
Yes, sir. And I know our friend of the show, Bo, will be sitting, eating his grilled shrimp and bacon wrapped shrimp, enjoying the wager he put on his jackpot.
And thank you, Bo.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, calculator. What's next?
Oh, hey, same time. Again, check your local listings. This will be on TV because it's your Notre Dame Fighting Irish at the Louisville Cardinals, 7:30 in Louisville. Folks, another game, another spread just under that magic number of 7. That always attracts the calculator's attention and has me dig a little deeper. This is a battle between a currently undefeated team in Louisville and another team that just came off a 2-game stretch against 2 top 15s. One was a win on the road. The other one was a close loss to a top 5 team at home, and what a lot of people thought should have won the game. One of these teams is a fraud, and guess what, folks? It's not the Irish. I have personally watched Louisville needing second half luck to get by a bad Georgia Tech team early in the year and an NC State team just last week where they were down 13-0 at the half. That game, NC State, Leary, I don't know what he was doing, but he said, we don't want to win this game. I don't know if he's going – you don't get draft picks in the NCAA, folks, so I don't know why he was throwing it to the other team in the second half because they could have just did the 3-run and punt with the way they were playing because Louisville wasn't playing any better on offense. But, hey, the only reason this spread isn't double digits is the Cardinals are a better team at home. I'll say it. But, however, when looking at the early season schedule, this team hasn't been tested at home, right? This will be the week as Notre Dame can run, they can pass, they can defend the run, and they can pressure a quarterback, which in this case, a quarterback shows that he will turn the ball over with constant pressure and when he's under constant duress. This is a serious step up in competition for the Cardinals, and I think it will be too much for them to handle. I do caution, this could be one of those look-ahead spots. Notre Dame does have USC on the schedule next week, so that's why this one didn't quite make the jackpot because they do have that one thing in there. But you know what? I think this is still a spot where the Irish is still, again, way more talented than the other team, which I think will give them to cover the 6.5. So, yeah, I don't mind. I think they win 7 to 10 points in this one. And I wouldn't be surprised 2-touchdown win in this one, especially with I saw what Louisville did just last week against a far inferior NC State team.
Absolutely. All right, so go with the Irish. All right, calculator. Man, we're running out of games to go through, man.
Hey,
it's flying by. The show is just flying by.
It always flies by. That's the only bad thing about this show. You put more time into the research than you do the actual presentation. But hey, that's all right because research is sometimes just as fun.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's going on out west?
Oh man, Laramie, Wyoming. Is that where they drop off the bodies at Yellowstone, Mr. 411? All the you Yellowstone fans out there, they cross the state line to a county that has no people and no sheriff. And they just drop bodies off. But hey, we got the Fresno State Bulldogs at the Wyoming Cowboys, 8:00, another late game. Hey, folks, I've been keeping my eyes on those Fresno State Bulldogs after beating Purdue in week 1. You know them because I mentioned them, right? And then they, just that second week, they were skinned by Eastern Washington in double overtime. Yes, first Eastern Washington when they were a double-digit favorite in week 2. Hey, I wanted to get more information as the season went on with this Fresno State Bulldog, and now I'm going to, tip the toe in those friendly wagering waters. And I'm going to back the Bulldogs this week because I see a team that appears to be getting better and better while their opponent, the Wyoming Cowboys, we talk about luck. We'll talk about luck. They have the luck factor in their corner right now. And folks, luck eventually does run out. We hope it runs out this week, right? After Wyoming used a blocked field goal return for a touchdown against Appalachian State 2 weeks ago, two of their randomly explosive touchdowns to edge New Mexico, where they still did not cover against the spread. But they were favored to, right? So, hey, at present, Fresno State starting quarterback Mikey Keene, folks, is completing passes at a 77.7% rate, 6 touchdowns, 1 interception, and appears to be starting to understand the Jeff Tedford offense that he has wanted to install since day one from the Fresno State football program. Yes, the Altitude and Laramie, Wyoming could play a key part in keeping the game close early on. But hey, again, we can talk about key numbers. This is just 6.5. We're not giving up a full touchdown, and I'm getting the better offense, the better defense. Wyoming can only do one thing, folks. They can only run the ball. They're not going to be able to pass with Fresno State. Well, guess what? Fresno State, one of their defensive strengths is stopping the runs. Because what Bulldogs has shown, and Eastern Washington, one of the surprise teams that surprised me on their schedule, they were passing the ball all day long. Wyoming doesn't have that type of thing that they can do and consistently do, right? Which is why I don't think again, it'll be close early on. The Fresno will stay. Pull away, take your Bulldogs, give up the 6.5, and Fresno State will make you sleep good at night. Hopefully, this will be another winning week for the CTL.
Oh yeah. That's a way to have a great nightcap right there with some West Coast play there.
West
Fresno
Coast.
State. Yeah, and that's one of my teams I like to watch anyway, Fresno State. Down in the valley. If you look at the back of their helmet, sometimes they have that V on the back of there. That's for the valley back there where they play. But yeah,
they used to always, people back in the day, back in the late '90s. Pat Fitzgerald back in there. They were giving USC fits back when USC was really, really good all the time. Back in the back in the day, they were getting back on, rising on top of the Reggie Bush, Matt Leinart days. Man, Fresno State gave those jokers fits on those late night games.
Oh yeah, I remember when they had that great run. But yeah, that's a good program too, man. Excellent pick there, Calculator.
Thank you. Mikey Keene, folks. Hey, now that could be another one of those, people that, you don't hear a lot about because he's on the West Coast. But if he can pile up quality wins, you never know. Heisman dark horse, we don't know.
Hey, you never know. You never know in this game.
That's
All right, Calculator. We got to get down to business. I know Bo can't wait to hear.
Bo, but he wants a forecast that said, no, Bo, got to watch the CTL to get the goods. Like, subscribe, and notify.
Exactly. Look at him calling out Dr. Sacks.
Oh my goodness. Oh man. Hey. We'll talk about the algorithm pick when the time comes, right, Mr. 411?
Oh, absolutely. All right. What's on tap?
Yes, sir. That is okay. We always save the best for last, Mr. 411. It's the time that Dr. Sacks crunching the numbers, modifying the numbers, working the model. And hey, I think all that work's starting to pay off, Mr. 401, because as of now, if you watch the show, you can rewatch the show. We always enjoy people that watch 4 in a row for the algorithm, folks. The secret formula is starting to turn. And we always say the more and more information, the better. The tweaks here, the tweaks there, the top model pick this week, your Old Dominion Monarchs, plus 1.5. At your Southern Miss Golden Eagles. Yes, the model's showing that the Old Monarchs are going to win this game by touchdown because, folks, it is our honest opinion that we don't see how Southern Miss should be favored against anybody this year. This team has been getting, just taken to the. I say woodshed. I say it again. Taken back there every single game. Old Dominion. Hey, they haven't been that good, but they're better than Southern Miss. We don't care about home field advantage. We're getting the better team, and we're getting a 1.5. Again, this is another money line action that we can endorse and feel good about. Trust the model, trust the numbers, trust the Old Dominion Monarchs this week for the Dr. Sacks pick of the week.
Absolutely. And you want me to reveal the three things that I love most about
Oh,
Dr. Sax?
Mr. 41, I got so excited about this pick, I forgot to say, what are the things? You want to trust the algorithm? What are the three things that Mr. 411 believes in?
Mr. 401 believes in the man upstairs. Without the man upstairs, none of this would be possible for any of us. Mr. 401 believes, and it's almost time.
Oh, yeah.
Almost
Hey,
time for
and let
Jingle
me tell you
Bells.
something. The Kohl's Distribution Center is going to be starting working overtime coming up, but getting ready for you know who.
Yeah, they better get ready for it because you got to come by
That's
there and
right.
scoop up some stuff.
That's right.
And then, of course, Dr. Sachs
Dr.
is
Sachs.
definitely what Mr.
Great.
401 believes in as well.
That's right. Friend of the show, the one that crunches the numbers for everyone. Hey, Dr. Sachs, me and him talk about capitalism all the time, and we always say that's why we share the information with people. We want as many people to make as much money as possible, and that's why we do this show. And we do it. Hey, and we don't do it. We don't do it for the money, Mr. 411. We don't do it for the fame, Mr. 411. We just do it for the clicks. Just do the subscribe, like, notify, and we'll keep coming out here for you, folks.
That's right. We do it for the click. So click up.
That's right.
There you go. All right. And there's the algorithm pick. We've been on a roll. You got to take advantage of it.
Hey, for 4 in a row, and like I said, and that's the beautiful thing let's just say the algorithm loses. Well, guess what? That he tweaks it every week. He don't let it just ride. He takes the new numbers, put it in, and a lot of times the algorithm will figure out what went wrong and correct it for the next week.
Yeah, can't beat that.
That's
so,
right.
Yes, calculator. Definitely appreciate you being on board again for another tremendous week of CTL.
Absolutely.
Yours truly, battling some things here, but was still able to make it. Not going to pull a Kawhi
Leonard. Mr. 411, not pulling the Deshaun Watson, right? You're getting cleared for the game and say, nah, can't go. Mr. 411 is putting it out there, and the folks, I love Mr. 411 powering through, not feeling the greatest, because he wants the people to, hey, we appreciate all the work you put in, Mr. 411.
Well, thank you. And without you, calculator, there's no CTL. And man, it's awesome episode, man. Let's do it again next week. All right.
It might be a little surprise location next week. We will see. Calculator's working on it, but we're working on something, and we'll see what we can do for next week. A new live location.
Wow, that's breaking news right there.
Yeah,
not even Mr. 401 know about this.
That's right. Calculator just heard about it from some family members. So we're going to see if there's a trip to be had, and if a trip to be had, I'll be if it happens. Calculator is going to be doing research on the road next week.
Oh, I can't wait. All right, let's do it. All right,
absolutely.
We're gone. Have a good one.
Hey.